Cobras are very aggressive feeders, and they can be very, very wacky. Like this little Indian cobra. Oh, look at that! Oh boy! Because normally, well, you know, you're eating it butt first, bud. Here, there you go. You don't care, do you? You just want to eat. Yes, I've been chastised for averting my eyes and not watching the snake in question 100% of the time. I don't necessarily feel that that's necessary. Especially if the snake is occupied and has its mouth full, like Mr. Common Cobra here. Who's making very short work of Mr. Mouse, and finally has noticed that the camera's there, and it's like, what do you want? I'm eating. Can't you see I'm eating? Leave me alone. What? You have more mice? Oh, okay. I'll permit you then. Alright. Oh, talk about aggressive. Look, it's not to be eaten. See, this is what you people have not noticed is, you know, when I do this, a lot of times, 90% of the time, especially with very fast, aggressive snakes like this, I have the camera on an extension, and I have remote control that I can zoom and stop and focus if necessary. But that's to keep my fingers further away from the pointy end. Because I certainly don't want to end up with my fingers in the mouth of something that thinks that it's food, because that's when they inject quite a lot of venom. Okay, let's you stay there. Now this is the sort of time that you don't really take your eye off the animal. So here we have Common Cobra Strike Cam. You're such an energetic little creature. And that's what cobras are always about. High energy. They can be highly aggressive, or I hate to use the word aggressive, highly defensive, which sometimes looks like an offensive type action. But as you see, I made very short work of Mr. Hopper there. And I think that's probably enough food for this little beastie, since I have other animals to feed. I have extra left over, so Sniffs and Gabby are going to have a rare treat. Right, Sniffs? Sniffs hasn't been really sniffling a whole lot recently. Don't know why that is. Sniff is seriously in need of an upgraded cage. As soon as I move into the new facility, I'll get him a much larger cage to stretch out in. Right, bud? Huh? Yeah, you see those big pupils. You know what's coming, huh? You know what's coming. Okay, so we'll catch this from two angles. Normally, Sniffs is a close-in killer. He waits until they can see the whites of their eyes. Can see the whites whites of their eyes, or even better. Sin killer, he waits until they can see the whites of their eyes, or even better. But he has known to extend quite some distance out of his cage in order to snatch what he thought was something to eat. It was a camera on the other end of my hand, and that was a little bit of a wake-up call for me. Subsequently, I give Mr. Sniffs a much wider berth, so I don't end up with his fangs embedded in my arm, thinking that it was food, and him injecting a large load of his venom, which has very interesting properties in addition to all the normal ones. It has cardiotoxins, which will permanently damage your heart, and it has some compounds in its venom that currently could also permanently damage your peripheral nervous system, causing lifelong intense pain, which is something everybody likes to avoid. Okay, so we'll let Mr. Sniffs do his thing. Now this is Mr. Sniffs woofing down. I mean, really making serious progress on his rodent. And you know, you're just less than an inch from Sniff's mouth there. Yeah, good boy. I know how easy you are freaked out. You're really handling this very well. Yeah, is that tasty, huh? Okay. That was a very special Sniffs cam, because we actually were looking in his mouth while he was swallowing. Sort of like what the blue man. Okay. Here we see Mr. Black. And here we see Mr. Black drawing a bead on Mr. Rat. Oh, I hope I didn't shake too much during that, because their strike is just such a cool thing to watch, especially if you're not the target. It's just a thing of beauty. Now, we're going to try to hang out here and let Mr. Polylepis here eat, but right now Mr. Camera is in strike range, and I don't want to become a casualty, and right now I don't read his intentions all that much, because they are sort of a stone-faced beast. You know, they do let you know sometimes with their gaping and neck flattening, but right now he's just not sure of what this is. So that was a normal tongue flick. So we'll back off a little bit, and we'll sort of let him get started. I'm sorry for the shakies. I'm changing hands with the camera and the feeding tongs, which will be my last resort in case of attack. Again, there's that nasty word. Right now you're about 6 inches away from the coffin head there, as he finds the right end to feed on. And there's the black mouth. And now, since the black mouth is sort of occupied, I will just, I'm not going to do Mamba Cam. I don't want to freak him out. But I will do a little bit of a zoom in there so we can see a little closer up as he does work Mr. Mouse down. It's very nice that his scales from the noosing that you see on his just about an inch in back of his head didn't get all infected like the Egyptian cobra did. It's one thing putting, you know, bacitracin and betadine and stuff on an injured Egyptian cobra. It's a whole different ball game doing it on Mr. Mamba here. And Mr. Mamba is also going to be going off to a zoo soon. Again, freeing up another cage for someone else to occupy in my permanent collection. Mr. Black here does have a very good ability of sucking down rats really quick, although he seems to be a little bit stuck today. It's not quite going down the chute in the normal straight fashion he does. I've seen him really suck them down like it was a kid with an ice cream cone, but he's gotten fairly used to me, and I haven't really seen him hood or gape or nervous tongue flick in quite some time now. Oh yeah, look at, there's your business end of your Mr. Mamba. And those fangs aren't so terribly thin either. See, there's his neck wound from the noose. Those scales right there were just obliterated, and he's healed up fairly well, and it'll take a couple sheddings for it to go away. Okay. When Mr. Mamba says, "You're bugging me now, buddy," Viper Keeper understands that sort of talk and backs off. Well, these little buggers didn't take to chicks very nicely, so I know they eat rats. So let's see if they're interested in rats. Does that meet your expectations, huh? These guys are very, very shy and have not taken anything, you know, if I've offered off of the tongues and stuff, but they're starting to get used to their life here. And those are definitely feeding motions, you know, if it doesn't get spooked by the camera. You know, it realizes that, hey, if my mouth is full, how am I going to be able to defend myself? So snakes have to feel pretty comfortable around you to feed in your presence, especially the venomous ones, because they rely so much on those big old fangs they got there. Indonesian Russell's Viper Cam. Oh, you mean I can escape? Well, these guys are exceptionally hot. I do not want to end up on the pointy end of this puppy. No, we are not going out. That's for certain there, bucko. Oh, what a schnoz. Look at that schnoz. The boya has some of the ugliest schnoz holes in their head than any of the snakes. Now look at that pupil. That pupil is pretty big for being in the bright light, so that means it's a bit ticked off right now. Well, this is not bad for an encounter with these guys. Usually they're all defensive, coiled up in a ball, and hissing and huffing and fake striking and everything else. So this is not so bad. So I'm going to back off slowly now and offer Mr. Rodent, because that's what we're indeed here for.